A chat with Glendora, a show for living right. A chat with Glendora makes your day so bright. Words of inspiration, jokes to make you smile. Come relax and chat with Glendora for a while.
Hi folks, it's Glendora. The professor said, "What do you know about the speed of light?" And the student said, "Nothing, sir. It just gets here too early in the morning." The next time you go to the supermarket, bypass the meat counter, go to the frozen food cases, and load up your grocery cart with veggie meat, hamburger, chicken, turkey, ham. 90 years old, no doctors, no medicine, and my cat is vegan too. I don't know if this is going to work or not. But we'll give it the old college try. This is for Queens week 4 to be cable cast when? October, November. What is on your mind? I have things on my mind to tell you, and I like the way George McDermott does it down in Washington, D.C. He's exposing the corruption in the courts, all through the courts, and anything in the government related to the courts, particularly unsigned orders that don't have any meaning at all. They're void. Now George is poor. I think he has his Social Security and his wife's Social Security. I think that's it. And he's running for Congress. Well, you know how much politicians spend running for Congress, right? He's running for Congress in the some Maryland district. And he's running as a Republican. And it's very interesting, folks. His opposition for the primary, the other man who wanted the primary election, called up George and asked George to join him. And George says, "Well, why would I want to do that? I would be giving up everything that I believe in." So he wouldn't do it. George would not do it. And came the last minute that you had to say you're running for the primary or you're not, his opposition canceled out. Wow. A man running on truth and goodness got the opposition to cancel out? Well, he did. So George is the only candidate for primary, and now the elections are coming. Well, anyway, my point was that George will call up and tell me how many courts he's gone to, and how many judges he's sued, and how many clerks he sued for violating constitutional right and federal rules of civil procedure. And he has gone with a civil rights action to the UN in Switzerland. And you know about that. We reported that on A Chat with Glendora. What's happened on that? Nothing, of course. Anyway, my point is, you do that. You call me up and leave in my recorder what you did last week. And I'm going to tell you, soul to soul, what happened here last week. Something's on my mind. Channel 6, WRGB, it used to be General Electric, and Glendora was on Channel 6 for 6 years, 1955 to 1962, doing the SS Glendora Children's Show and Glendora and Satellite 6, a spaceship show. And the people all around who are 68 years old now are remembering that fondly. They've carried it in their hearts for 60 years, as I have. So that's Channel 6. It used to be General Electric WRGB. And here's what I'm thinking of offering them. What do you think of this? The first week of every year, of every week of the year 2019, the first week of the year 2019, every month, 5 ads, Monday through Friday, on the 6 p.m. news to be played around 6:45 p.m. for $9,000 cash to be paid cash the first business day of January 2019. It's 5 ads, 12 months. That's what, 60 ads. And they claim about 50,000 people. So that's about, is it 3 million? Or is it 300,000 impressions? It must be 3 million. Take the number of ads and multiply it by the number of commercials shown on the TV. What's one thing I wanted to talk to you about? What do you think of that? I have to put this on my cassette. I can no longer see to read or write unless I use the electronic magnifier, which is a grand. We bought internet because we use the internet so heavily to send out the TV shows by file transfer protocol. No longer on an SD, no longer on a DVD through the United States mail. In fact, the last mailing for the 2-month period, August-September, to supply October-November, that last mailing, folks, was only 20 packages. It used to be 45. That's how many TV stations have gone file transfer protocol, which means sending the program by computer, not by DVD, U.S. mail. And I feel sorry for the United States Post Office because I praise its service. I value it highly, and I love the people who work there. But maybe somehow or other, the world and all of us together will level that out. So that's why we buy the internet, because we use it so heavily, for email particularly, so heavy. And by the way, folks, does God get email? No, God gets email. Well, and we were hoping that the internet would improve the telephone service on the LG and through Straight Talk. Well, I don't know if it has. The transmission is really not good. I think the tower is there, or it might be up there. But very often we get no mobile network available. And that's after you pay $50 a month for it. Then the third thing came up. With the Chat with Glendora vegan commercials on Channel 10 and Fox 23-24 3 times a day, and we had to see them. We can't just go to neighbors' houses like that for the next 7 weeks, can we? No. So we had to buy the TV. I've been in cable television for 47 years. I have resisted buying cable TV for 47 years because when I started out in TV in 1953, TV was free, and I was opposed to the American idea of paying for TV when it was really free. It belongs to the public's airwaves. And all these greedy people, ABC, NBC, and CBS, and cable TV operators, make millions off of it, billions. And it's really your TV. It's your airwaves. And the FCC has filed this up from the beginning. From the beginning, way back, radio days. The government has really mishandled this whole thing. So we bought cable TV. Now when it came to buying the telephone, and the deal is good, Straight Talk is $50 a month, $45 plus $5 tax. But the cable company, Spectrum, can offer $22 a month. So that's cutting in half the $50 Spectrum, isn't it? And maybe you'd get a better signal. And on top of that, they give you a new phone. And he says, what kind of phone do you have now, Mario said. And I said, an LG Stylus 2. And he says, the phone we're going to give you is 8 steps above that. And it will be an LG. He says, now all I need is your date of birth and your social security number. Well, that stopped me cold. 1984, George Orwell, Big Brother. I have been resisting it all these years, successfully. And now I can't have the telephone service unless I give them my social security number and my date of birth. Excuse me. You know about this date of birth thing. That's why the police always ask you your date of birth. That just opens up your whole file. That opens up your whole lifetime to anybody. Particularly government agency who misuse their franchise, their power of authority. Particularly the FBI and all those people who misuse their power of authority. And they do it terribly. That's a whole lifetime story how they do it. I tell you about that. And Social Security told me way, way back not to give my Social Security number to anybody. So I didn't go for it. And he said, well, you can't have the service. And that was it. Do you know the solution to that? What can be done? I think a person has a right to not be Big Brother here in the United States of America, don't you? Should I capitulate? Okay, let's see what else he wants to talk to you about and ask you your help on. children next door. I called Naomi, who must be in the 5th grade by now, must be 11 years old. And I called her, she lives next door. And I said, Flash is sleeping over here at my house now. He's doing his eating over here. What do you want done about Flash, your cat? And when I called Naomi over, all the other children came over and I think wanted out. They said nothing and went off. You couldn't be much more rude. Then the Eric, who is the daddy over there, I said, Eric, do you hear me? And he says, how are you, Glendora? I said, Eric, would you come over, please? I want to talk to you. And he drifted off. I guess rude dad, rude kids. I guess they don't want to deal with it. So what do we do about Flash? The new ownership of these buildings doesn't want pets. My goodness, that would be the second orange cat. Remember the orange cat in the spring we found a home for?
23, McCormick 2, Owen.
Albany County has opened up a new public access station. They got $100,000 from somebody and they've started up their new public access station. This is not, somewhere it's related to Albany City, but it's Albany County, but Albany is served by Time Warner, now Spectrum. So we must send them 4 new programs for October, November. We must do that Tuesday.
Sent to Albany County. Signed 61,000 telephone calls.
Yes. We're up to 60,000 telephone calls, 920. That's since the year 2003, when Franklin, my connubial joy, for 48 years, went to heaven. And he said, call my people. And for some unknown reason, although those reasons are not unknown, they come from the source, I started enumerating the calls in 2003. And the number now is 60,920. By the end of the week, folks, it will be 61,000 telephone calls. Out calls only. It does not count the in calls. Call Banker and Collins about driving to Springfield, Massachusetts, where Glendora on October 13th, Saturday at 10 a.m. will be inducted into the Hall of Fame, American International College, Springfield, Mass. I choose to go the old Route 20 because in my first television show we lived in Springfield and the television show was in Pittsfield. And every Monday morning I had to go up Route 20 and every Friday night come down Route 20. We didn't have any Berkshire Spur. We didn't have any Route 90. So, and also the first few years that I was on WRGT Glendora, I had to come up Route 20, go through the Berkshires, all those beautiful little towns. You go through Lenox and Lee and Great Barrington into Pittsfield, and then over Lebanon Mountain to Albany, and then over Route 5 to Schenectady through Colony. Those are very dear routes to me, or routes, and I should take them. And so I'm setting up with Bill Banker, who is extremely good at road navigation, and asking him about what time we should leave Saturday morning. I think we should leave at 7 o'clock here, pick them up in Pittsfield at 7:30, go Route 20. And by the way, American International is on Route 20. We live on Route 20. Bill Banker lives on Route 20. Wayne Collins lives on Route 20. Route 20 is very interesting, folks. It starts at Boston, Massachusetts, and goes clear across the United States to Oregon, to the Pacific Ocean. From the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, the northern route. Washburn. Call Washburn at 6 o'clock.
30 p.m. Feed the deer. We Newtown.
Feed the animals at 5:30 p.m. I can't see well. In fact, I pushed my little grocery cart right into the garage last night. But I can see well enough. The dark glasses help. And it's all the way down this driveway, clear across the lawn, across the trolley trail that was closed in 1929 and now belongs to the electric company because that's their wire. And across the trolley trail to the edge of the woods and feed the animals. Bountifully, abundantly, copiously. And I bought them $30 worth of cookies. For 3-4 weeks I fed them rice. Before that, what was I feeding them? Home-baked bread. I buy the frozen loaves of bread and bake them. Before that, what were you feeding them? Birdseed and corn. And now I bought them $30 worth of cookies, and I think they're good for them. The oatmeal cookies and things like that, and the sugar, I think is good for them. But they're awful. They just taste terrible. I even went off from my regimen of saintly eating to eat some of them. They're inedible. What's the matter? They always used to be very good. Well, I'll put them in the toaster oven, 30 package of them, one by one, and heat them up and see if they act a little better. Now about this regimen of saintly eating, it was started on September 1st. Today is September 23rd, the first day of autumn, the autumnal equinox. The days are 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and the nights are 6:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. So I went off my regimen of saintly eating to eat some of these cookies. But I'm not really going off it because the cookies are so bad and I'm not going to eat them. So I'm going to stay in my, by the way, it was the third week yesterday. And what is that regimen? Well, it's fresh fruit and vegetables, either a salad or just oranges, bananas, grapes, and apple. That's the first thing. The second thing is a very nourishing wheat cereal, or oatmeal, or malto-meal, or familia, or that Swiss ceiling, muesli, what is it? Muesli what? And with soy milk and sugar. And the third one is a nut fruit shake, which is pineapple juice, bananas, oats, and almonds, all ground up in the blender. It's a delicious shake. And the fourth and last course is a veggie meat, such as sweet and sour porkless pork, or fish fishless fish fillets, or turkeyless turkey, or whatever. Anyway, these high grain, high protein, plant-based veggie meats with potato, boiled potato, mashed potato, or fried potato, or what, or cream potato, with peas, green peas or green beans or broccoli, some good green vegetable, and a white sauce, or a gravy if you can find one that's meatless, and you can with honest meat. That's the regimen of saintly eating. And my idea was that if I stuck to that and only that, no sweets, no desserts, no candy, no bread, unless it's Ezekiel bread, which is very heavy grains, that I would lose weight. And that by losing weight, it would take the pressure off his knee, and the pain in his knee would go away. Well, it hasn't worked. How much longer do I give it? Also, the pain in the knee would go away with additional exercising, morning, noon, and night. Exercises that I learned in high school. Exercises that people and insurance companies pay lots and lots of money for to go to physical therapy, they call it now. Change the name, big fancy name, now you charge money for it. Well, you don't have to. Just remember, well, just do them yourself. All kinds of exercises. Does that hurt? No, it doesn't. Does that hurt? Yes, it does. So it hasn't worked. But I'm going to go back to it to at least October 1st. September 1st to October 1st.
Ceiling tiles.
Oh yeah.
Put
Julie, out of that, I think we've gone long enough without 4 ceiling tiles where the apartment upstairs leaked. I think it's time to put in the new ceiling tiles. You know, 3-4 weeks, I think that's long enough. And that's not like you, Autovex. You usually do things just like that and keep everything perfect. They are great owners of property. .com is able. She can jump. She can walk. She can curl up and sleep. She can get under the blanket at night, for which I make her a tent with nice soft blankets up next to me. And she can purr. Oh my, can she purr. She's healthy, Glendora's healthy, and we're together. Wouldn't it be awful if we were separated? Wouldn't that be terrible?
McCormick together.
McCormick is a woman who was left about $26 million by her very wealthy husband, and it was all taken away from her by that'd be terrible.
McCormick together.
McCormick is a woman who was left about $26 million by her very wealthy husband, and it was all taken away from her by certain relatives, by White & Case Law Firm, by Deutsche Bank, and by, what's that other bank that went out of business? Bankers Trust. It was all stolen from her. She's trying to get it back. She lost her $5 million house. She lost her grand piano, which went from across the room. It was so big. She was a concert pianist. And so she keeps fighting to get it back. So not only have they stolen her money from her, but they've stolen her career as a concert pianist. She stopped playing, even in the house. And she's lost her piano. It's in storage when they took away her house. Not only she lost that, but she's lost her happiness and she's lost her life because she spends her life trying to get her money that she was ripped off. Call her anyway. I keep calling her. Give her some friendship, some laughter, some love.
That equals the Social Security number and the date of birth,
I told you that.
and or the telephone through cable TV, which you never wanted to do.
I might do it.
And you never wanted to give the date of birth and the Social Security number. End of the month, try to find a donation to AIC. Renewal.
Oh, end of the month. We just, the AIC is coming out with an alumni directory, and it's being handled down in Texas. And they wanted to know, would I like to add to my order? I think I sent them $100. I promised them another $100. Would I like to add some AIC clothing, sweatshirts and t-shirts and all that? No, Robert Cole keeps me supplied in those. He's the vice president of marketing. By the way, they give food to the homeless, 1 meal a week. And then the man down in Texas asked, well, then would you like to make a donation? And I said, how much? And he said, 75 is the top. I said, okay. I keep sending AIC money, so send him some more money Tuesday. Okay, send him $25. Make it 30.
Newark, Bergen, renewal.
What?
Renewal, Newark. Not Bergen's okay. Renewal.
Yeah, Michael Matthews, my sponsor in Newark, New Jersey. I haven't heard from him, and I've called Newark, New Jersey Public Access TV 4 times and left messages for them to call, and I haven't heard from them. So we must get on to that Tuesday when Gregory comes to work.
Will you tell me how to send out an email to everybody all at once?
Wait a second. The Glendora Public Access Television Network is a network of 71 affiliates from Boston to San Diego, Chicago, Buffalo, Albany, Manhattan, Bronx, Staten, Brooklyn, Queens, Philadelphia, Trenton, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, San Francisco, San Jose, Portland, Oregon, San Antonio. Anyway, 71 very big TV stations. And there's always a hole in the fence to mend. Every week, one of these cops out in some way or another, and you have to go and mend up their fence. Now, will you tell me, can you tell me how I can put all my emails together so that I send out one email and it goes to everybody, every one of the emails? How do you do that? Gregory hasn't figured that out. Will you tell me how to do that?
Jackson returned the program.
Oh yes, Robert Jackson, who sends out 16 file transfer protocols, sends out the program by computer to 16 TV stations. I sent him 4 of the best of the programs for the 2-month period. That's called a cycle, the 2-month period. I send him the 4 best because he's serving 16 TV stations. But he's kept the DVDs. I would like him to put them all in a box and send them back to me because we could use those. For Atlanta needs 4 new shows. Somebody else needs 4 new shows. Who was that? It wouldn't be Queens. Queens can take only an SD. They can't take a DVD. Well, anyway, all those good Pets premium shows could be sent out to those people. I sent 31. I sent 31 TV shows to Groton, Connecticut. Because they were always complaining, oh, we don't have enough shows, we don't have enough shows. So I sent 31, so they will be. And these were 31 premium shows, because I also have to send the premium shows to East Hartford, because they want a release from everybody who appears in the show. None of my other TV stations does that. But he's got that wild idea. So we satisfy him, and I send him all the shows that Glendora is in. And those are the shows that are all soul to soul. Okay, what else?
Saxon records the church bulletin.
I also should ask Robert Jackson to read me the church bulletin of a church in the Bronx. And they have a message in the church bulletin that is so good. They have a message such as, when all is said and done, the only thing that really matters is how you treated others. That is so true. And I want you to remember that. I'm not telling you anything new. I'm not teaching you anything new. You know that. You just don't take the time to sit down in your own sanctuary, a private place of quiet, and listen to the soul that's inside of you. And the voice of that soul is your conscience. You just don't take time to sit down and do that and get your life straight. You're led around by all kinds of phony stuff that tells you you'll be happy if you are rich, if you are popular, if you have a big car, if you have a big house, if you have a big paying job. Well, you won't be rich. You will not be happy with any of those things. Not one of those things will make you happy. There's only one thing that's going to make you happy, and that's how you treat others. That is helping others and doing it with others and having a good time to do it. Let me repeat that. This is the Chat with Glendora take on Christianity and on any religion in the world. Happiness comes only with helping others and doing it with others, doing it with a whole lot of people, and then having a ball while you're doing it. That's happiness. And that's the only place that happiness. And I'm going to go so far this morning as to point out to you that you're not going to make it with the peace of God. You're not going to have the peace of God. You're not going to have happiness unless you are a bigot. You cannot go out and take a baby calf and snatch it the minute it's born from its mother, not even cutting the umbilical cord, and take that poor little calf and put him in an enclosure of about 4 feet so that he really can't move and exercise, so that he will be anemic, so that he will make veal. And then turn around and say, I love you, God. No way. You can't take a baby lamb that's where everything in his life depends upon you. He depends upon you for everything. You can't take him. And he's trusting you. And you kill him. And you chop him up into pieces. And you cook him. And you eat him. And then turn around and say, I love you, God. It will not work. There's only one way to happiness, and that's helping others, doing it with others, and enjoying it. Then you can turn around and say, I love you, God. But you'll never make it unless you're vegan. No animal products, no fur, no honey, no leather, no exploitation of animals. They all want to be your pets, like your cat or your dog. They want to love you, and they want you to love them. Now, from May of 2018 to the end of December 2018, we will have done 30 second commercials. We will have done 191 30-second commercials on broadcast TV, Channel 10 or Channel 6, Albany, New York, at a cost of $8,800. The current ones are playing 3 times a day, Monday through Friday, on Channel 10 at 9:25 a.m. thereabouts, called The Doctors, and on a new talk show around, or is it Steve Hardy, around 1:25 p.m., and then on this new talk show around 3:15 p.m. The last two being Fox 23 and Fox 24. Channel 10 does not stream their commercials. Channel 6 streams their 6 p.m. news and their commercials, so that anybody around the world who has a computer can see the Channel 6 commercials, but not the Channel 10 commercials. My friend Bill Jennings in Hawaii was able to go to the computer and say, Google Channel 10, Albany, New York, and wait for the 6 p.m. news, which is 6 hours later in Hawaii. And Albany is his hometown, too. He grew up right around the state capitol, the legislature building, the governor's mansion. He grew up right around those sidewalks and played there every day. And he was able to see the vegan commercial. Is that all?
Ask McDermott to give a report of the week.
Yeah, I told you about that. I think we're
Ask
done.
Pat to do browsing for you.
Oh yeah, Gregory,
8 times through.
Gregory really doesn't help me much on browsing. I asked him to browse our 71 TV stations. They all have websites. And it just doesn't come over. He just doesn't read to me what's on the screen. But Pat Nichols, she's very good at that. And she can do it over the phone. So I think I'll take that job away from Gregory and give it to Pat Nichols.
Robert Jackson records the church bulletin. Ask McDermott to give a report of the week. Ask Pat to do browsing for you. 8 times through, 50 hats.
Oh yeah. 50 hats. That's too many. And people keep giving me hats, just like people keep giving me jokes. 50 hats. Today, we started the 8th time through those 50 hats, wearing a different one every day. It just wasn't fair to the hats to be hanging on the wall and nobody seeing them. So every day we wear a different hat. Even if we go outdoors in our long underwear, we will wear a hat. And now the jokes. I think this is the end of the...
Amazon order socks.
Oh, the owner of Amazon reportedly, Sandy told me last night, has contributed $2 billion to start Montessori schools, preschools in ghetto areas. $2 billion to start Marie Montessori preschools in ghetto areas. So I think I'll buy my buying from Amazon. I think they bought World Foods, didn't they? A health food chain. So I've got to order new socks, and I want them to be knee socks, and they have to be pink, orange, yellow, light green and dark green, powder blue and navy blue, and white, and heavy socks for winter. Okay.
Red, orange, pink,
Oh yeah, pink.
yellow,
This is pink. And it's velvet, like,
light green, and dark green. Powder blue and navy blue. And white. Is call Julie on the details list? Call Julie.
we covered that, the ceiling tiles.
5 spots. Every 2 Friday.
We did that, okay. These are the jokes. I have 27 jokes. They're all about professors and all about students. They're kind, but they're sort of merciless too. And I asked the Vice President of Marketing, no, the Vice President of Student Affairs, Brian O'Shaughnessy, do I have to give a speech? And he said yes. And I said, how long? And he said 5 minutes. So I said to him, I'm going to save the last 2 minutes for the applause. It's the first day of classes, and the professor comes swaggering into the classroom, and he bellows, if there's any dumbbells in this class, I want you to stand up immediately. Well, a long time went by. Finally, a lone freshman in the back row stood up, and the professor roared, are you a dumbbell? And the poor little freshman said, no, sir, but I felt sorry for you standing up there all by yourself. A college president, not ours, was relieved of his duties by the Board of Trustees. In his final speech to the Board of Trustees, he said, I depart from this position the same way I entered it, fired with enthusiasm. Daddy, what does college bread mean? Daddy, it means a 4-year loaf made out of the old man's dough. The medical college has its own football cheer. Hypodermic, hypodermic. Hypodermic, what does that mean? Stick it to them. A college professor said, for every student who has a spark of genius, there are 10 others who have ignition problems. What are the 3 things you like best about being a college professor? The reporter asked. Shaping young minds, forming good Americans, bringing up the next generation, And what are the 3 things you like best about being a college professor? June, July, and August. I don't want to go to school today, Harry said. The teachers don't like me, the kids don't like me, and even the custodians have it in for me. You're going to school today, his mother said. You have much to learn. You have much to offer. And besides, you're 45 years old and the principal. Is it true that old college presidents never die? Is it true that they never fade away? It's true that they just lose their faculties. One professor said, in the old days, it was fun. The kids used to bring you apples. The students used to bring you apples. Now they just drive you bananas. And President Marsh of Boston University, at my husband's commencement, my husband was graduated from Boston University in 1949 on the GI Bill. Anyway, President Marsh at the end of the commencement said to the audience, will the audience please remain seated while the dignitaries on the stage pass out? What does a college transcript teach a parent? You do not have to lift weights to raise a dumbbell. And a college president was walking a group of businessmen across the campus, and one of the businessmen said, how many students do you have here? And the college president said, about 60% of them. A young man came to his parents and said, here is the diploma from medical school that you wanted me to get. But as I've been telling you all of these years since I was 7 years old, I'm going to go out and be a fireman. The college coach went to the math professor and said, you've got to pass our star player. We're not going to win without him. And the college professor said, but he said, 7 times 5 is 33. And the coach said, so he missed it by 1. I think there's a few more, but I'll have to go and memorize those. I have to memorize them because I can't see a card anymore to read them. Or Sandy will be my teleprompter, and she'll stand behind my right ear, the only one I can hear in, and she will tell me, give me a cue, give me a prompt. The church's one foundation is Jesus Christ our Lord. She is his own creation by water and the word. From heaven he came and sought her to be his holy bride. With his own blood he bought her, and for her life he died. The church's one foundation is helping others and doing it with others and having a good time doing it. There's only one evil, and that's selfishness, ego. putting yourself first, me first. And it tries to lie to you and tells you that's how you get your popularity, your money, your success, your big house, your big car. It can't deliver. If that's what you want, and probably by the time you realize that the only happiness in the world is helping others, if that's what you want, there's only one way to get it, by helping others. And I think that you will lose your thirst for those things. I need thee every hour, most gracious Lord. No tender grace like thine can peace afford. I need thee, how I need thee, every hour I need thee. Oh, bless me now, my Savior, I come to thee. And now the Bible, Romans 8:28, I think. All things work for good for those who love the Lord and know his purpose. Everything will work for good for you when you love helping others and doing it with others and having a ball doing it, and thereby know the purpose of all life. Just another thing I want to tell you before we leave on this Sunday morning, autumn, the autumnal equinox. One other thing. There's only God. God is one. We are all one with God. There's this great big sphere that is God. And we're all in it together. And we are not particulars. We are not an aggregate. We are not an agglomerate. We are not adhesive. We are cohesive. We are all one somehow or rather. I don't know how to explain it, but I know it. And I feel it. And you will feel it too. You do feel it a little bit, but you will feel it completely when you go by yourself in your sanctuary and listen. Listen. Now, only God means also all God. The allness, the wholeness, the oneness. Okie doke. So a blessing to you. Would you like to be sanctified? Would you like to be holy? Would you like to be a saint? Would you like to be perfect? I think you would. Well, may the God of peace, the peace that passes all understanding, may that God of peace sanctify you completely. Amen. Welcome, Queens. This is your fourth program for, my goodness, for October, November. I suppose you folks all want to know how the vegan commercials are being received. They are very well viewed. They are heavily watched because they are on broadcast TV. And many people comment on them. Everybody likes them. Have I had somebody show up at the front door and say, I'm vegan now? No, that has not happened. But let me give you the stats, folks. In the year 2018, from the month of May to the last week of December, we will have done 191 vegan commercials on broadcast TV, Albany, New York. We will have told 50,000 people 191 times to bypass the meat counter, go to the frozen food cases, load up your grocery cart with veggie meat, hamburger, chicken, turkey, ham. 90 years old, no doctors, no medicine, and my cat is vegan too. No veterinarians and no medicine. I'll say she's vegan. We just spent $95 on vegan food for her today. Plus, the neighbor cat who likes vegan food better than his food and who likes sleeping here better than sleeping at his house over there. Now, what do you think of this? Certainly, it's a very big rush on making people aware of veganism. I will tell you, I swear, I assert, I affirm, I confirm, I ratify, I pronounce, I asseverate. You will not make it with God. You will not find the peace of God unless you are vegan. For obvious reasons. You can't take a baby calf and snatch it from his mother and not even cut the umbilical cord and put that little baby in an enclosure of 4 feet where he won't be able to move much, so that he will be anemic and so that he will be vegan. So that he will be veal. You cannot do that. And then sell his milk that the Lord gave him. Sell it to somebody else. Make money. Exploit him. And then turn around and say, I love you, God. You just can't do that. So, we keep working at it. And I offered Channel 6, Albany, $9,000 for the year 2019 to run Monday through Friday vegan commercials the first week of every month of the year 2019 at approximately 6:45 p.m. $9,000. That would be $150 per ad. There would be 60 of them, right? 5 first week of every month, and 12 months would make 60, right? They came back and said, you're saying 150 our price is $200, but we will meet you at $175. That would come out to $10,500. I am waiting for an answer from all of you, from the whole world on that. I am waiting for an answer on that. What do you think? How about an even 10 grand? Drop to 500. Now the reason we go channel 6 instead of channel 10 is that channel 10 does not stream the commercials. They stream the news but not the commercials. But channel 6 streams the commercials. I can call up my friend Bill Jennings, who retired in Hawaii from the United States Army in Hawaii, and I can say, Bill, turn on your hometown channel where you grew up, Albany, New York, the first week of January at around circa 6:45 p.m. Go to your computer, not your television set, but your computer, and tell Google that you want to see Channel 6 Albany, New York. Well, Bill has done this, and he has seen the commercials. In other words, all over the world, wherever there's a computer, you will be able to see this commercial. Now, how's that for coverage? Well, let me know what you think. And also, I would like to have you give a summary of over the telephone on my recorder of what you did this last week. Okay? George McDermott does that. It's very, very nice. Yeah, George McDermott is running for Congress on $100. All he has for income is his wife's Social Security and his Social Security. That's all. And he's running for Congress in a district in Maryland. Now, as you know, on October 13th, today is September 25th. On October 13th, Glendora is to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, American International College, Springfield, Massachusetts. I don't know why. All I did was grow old, and it took me a long time to do that, 90 years. But I'd like to try out my jokes about professors and students. I think they're kind of merciless too, on you, and see if I'm on the right track. The Vice President of Student Affairs, Mr. Brian O'Shaughnessy, I asked him, do I have to say a speech? And he said, yes. And I said, how long? And he said, 5 minutes. So I'm going to save the last 2 minutes for the applause. It was the first day of classes. The professor came swaggering into the classroom and bellowed, if there's any dumbbells in this class, I want you to stand up immediately. Well, of course, a long time went by. Finally, a lone freshman in the back row stood up. The professor roared, are you a dumbbell? And the little freshman said, well, no, sir. I just felt sorry for you standing up there all by yourself. A college president was relieved of his duties by the Board of Trustees, and in his final speech to the board, the college president said, I depart from this position the same way I entered it, fired with enthusiasm. Daddy, what does college bred mean? What? What does college bred mean? Daddy, it means a 4-year loaf made out of the old man's dough. The medical college at the football game has its own cheer. Hypodermic, hypodermic. Hypodermic? What does that mean? Stick it to them. One professor said, for every student who has a spark of genius, there are 10 others with ignition problems. A professor was asked, what are the 3 things you like best about being a college professor? And he said, shaping young minds, forming the next generation, producing great Americans. And the reporter asked the next professor, what 3 things do you like about being a professor? And he said, June, July, and August. What does a college transcript, teach a parent? You don't have to lift weights to raise a dumbbell. Harry said, I don't want to go to school today. The kids don't like me, the teachers don't like me, even the custodians have it in for me. And his mother said, well, you're going to school today. You have much to learn, you have much to offer, and besides, you're 45 years old and the principal. Is it true that old college presidents never fade away? Is it true that they never die? It is true. They just lose their faculties. Now we have quite a few jokes about you professors and you students, and I think we ought to have a column in our Lucent magazine, our alumni magazine that comes out every quarter. We ought to have a column of these jokes. Don't you think so? To cheer up and bring some laughter. All those in favor, say aye. All those opposed. A couple of serious things. When all is said and done, the only thing that really mattered is how you treated others. When all is said and done, the only thing that matters is how you treated others. Now, others includes animals. How did you treat animals? With kindness and love, and like your dog and cat, like pets? And let me repeat, I asseverate that you cannot make peace with God unless you are vegan, unless you leave those little babies alone and let them be. Back to the jokes. A professor said, it was great in the old days. The students used to bring you apples. Now they just drive you bananas. And President Marsh of Boston University, at the end of my husband's commencement, when my husband graduated from Boston University, President Marsh said to the audience, will all the people in the audience remain seated until the dignitaries on the stage pass out? A lad brought home his diploma from medical school. And he said to his mom and dad, here you are. Here's the diploma you wanted me to get from medical school. And now, I'm going to do what I've been telling you I would do Since I was 7 years old, I'm going out and be a fireman. Professor to student, what do you know about the speed of light? And the student said, well, nothing, sir. It just gets here too early in the morning. Do you know that Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, published right here in Springfield, Massachusetts, by G and C Merriam, in the 1800s, George and Charles Merriam, brothers, got the publishing rights from Webster in England, and they started up G and C Merriam. It's superb. Anyhow, do you know what they say is a definition of academic? Not expected to produce a practical result. You all know what BA stands for, Bachelor of Arts? And you all know what BS stands for? Do you know what MBA stands for? Master of Business Administration? Or more accurately, more bad advice. A student asked a professor, is it difficult to become a professor? And the professor says, no, you do it by degrees. The college president addressed the faculty meeting saying, our student body suffers from 7 dwarf syndrome. What is that? Every 7th pupil is dopey, and every 5th one is sleepy. What school did King Arthur go to? Night school. Why was the professor angry at the owl? Why was the professor angry at the owl? He didn't give a hoot. And why did the prince ask his daddy to go to kindergarten with him? Because the teacher said, bring a ruler to school. The professor was out on the golf course, and he said, caddy, why do you keep looking at your watch? And the caddy says, oh no sir, this isn't a watch, it's a compass. And you can always tell a man from Harvard. You can always tell a man from Harvard, but you can't tell him much. The college coach came to the math professor and he said, you have to pass my star player. We're going to lose without him if you don't pass him. The professor, but he said 7 times 5 is 33. And the coach says, so he missed it by 1. And here is the last joke. Wait, one more. How does the math professor discipline his children? How does a math professor discipline his children? If I have told you n times not to do that, this is n plus 1. And here's the final joke. The teacher said, Johnny, I think you cheated on the test. I think you copied the paper of the little girl across the aisle from you. The first question was, who was the first president of the United States? She wrote Washington and you wrote Washington. The second question was, who was president during the Civil War? She wrote Lincoln and you wrote Lincoln. The third question was, who was president during the Louisiana Purchase? She wrote, I don't know. And you wrote, me too. American International College, Springfield, Massachusetts, Glendora inducted into the Hall of Fame. Who's going? Sandy and Pat Sar Lincoln, Pat Nichols Sar, Wayne Collins, Bill Banker, and maybe their friend Dan from Pittsfield, and maybe Corinne, who is a Christian Science practitioner. And that's all so far. And while we're there, folks, we're going to go to the Dr. Seuss exhibit in Springfield. Have you ever seen it? Do you know what? It's a quadrangle outdoors, a beautiful quadrangle lawn with the back of the library here, the Museum of Science here, the Museum of Arts here, and another Springfield municipal building there. It's a quadrangle. And in that quadrangle are sculptured full-size figures of Dr. Seuss. Of Dr. Seuss himself sitting at his table creating with his can of pencils, colored pencils. And Maisie and Horton the elephant and the cat who came back and the hats and all that. Life-size, bronze, beautiful. Right outdoors. Just go up the stairs by the side of the library or any other way you can enter the quadrangle. Then we will come back. Back to the vegan commercials on Channel 10. They will be there for 5 weeks, folks. And the first one is on Channel 10 program, The Doctors, around about 9:25 a.m. The second and third ones will be on Fox 23-24 around about 1:25 p.m. and around about 3:15 p.m. And as I say, these will be going for 5 more weeks, and they've already run 2 weeks. I think this is the 3rd week, so it'll be 4 more weeks. What did that cost? $1,900. Okay. Now what else is there to tell you? What else has gone on this week? We turned from spring to the autumnal equinox. The days were just about 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. We just had a delivery of food from the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Schenectady. I told you it cost $95. It consisted of a case of linkettes. And I think I might talk about linkettes in one of the commercials. Starting next week, when we do the vegan commercial, we're not going to do the next time you go to a supermarket. We're going to talk about products. So let's talk about Linkettes, which is a vegan hot dog. Actually, it's not much like a hot dog. It's more nutritious. And vegan tender rounds, which are pork substitutes and delicious. And then McKay's chicken broth, and that is vegan too. And I think we ordered a vegetarian roast for Thanksgiving. Although I think we will also use corn, Q-U-O-R-N, corn, turkey roast, which is vegetarian. Unfortunately, it has eggs and milk in it. Get rid of that, you know, you people. You're smarter than that. You don't need eggs and milk. There's plenty of substitutes. And then there's vegetarian ham, vegetarian chicken slices, and vegetarian turkey slices. Do you know that all things work for good for those who love the Lord and know His purpose? What's loving the Lord mean? It means loving everybody. It means going out and helping others. That's one. Two is that you go out and help others in the company of others. And three, you enjoy it. That's all Christianity is really about. In fact, that's all any religion is about. Helping others. That's where you find the oneness with God. Sanctuary. And hear it and think it. You don't take time to hear the soul that is in you. And the conscience of that soul, or rather the voice of that soul, is your conscience. What time is it now, Greg?
About 27:45.
I need thee every hour. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. I need thee every hour, most gracious Lord. No tender grace like thine can peace afford. I need thee, oh, I need thee. Every hour I need thee. Oh, bless me now, my Savior. I come to thee. This is my Father's world, and let me ne'er forget that though the wrong seems oft so strong, God is the ruler yet. This is my Father's world. He trusts us with its care. All rocks and trees, all skies and seas, all creatures everywhere. Is that it?
Oh, you can continue on. You can continue on. So.
Okay.
Sure.
Not much longer.
Yeah. Queens is done.
Oh, Queens is done. Okay.
Okay. So.
Now we go on to stations that don't have to have it exactly 29 minutes. That's the nice thing about the internet. You get away from that restriction of television that was inherited from radio. Everything had to be 29 minutes. Commercials had to be 28 minutes, 28 seconds. Okay, you folks. Please call me up and leave on my recorder what you did all week. And do it just the way you saw it done here. Just sit down and that telephone and tell it. We put Vegan Commercial number 19 on the Facebook, and we enhanced it or boosted it, as they say, and we paid $200 for it, and they said it would get between I don't know, it was up to something like 30,000. And what they mean, we really don't know what they mean, that you have a reach of 30,000. What does that mean? That people actually saw it, or they just touch a button, or whatever? And so today we had it go for about 18 days. Today's the last day, and I'm looking forward to what the reach was. Do you know, Gregory, what the reach was?
For the boosted commercial, the black, like you wore black in it.
Yes.
The reach, it says 5,417.
Oh, thank you, Greg.
Yeah.
5,000 for $200. Okie doke. How about a benediction? May the God of grace, the fellowship of the Holy Spirit, and the love of Jesus Christ be with you and all of those you love. Amen.
Oh, so Glendora, I'm going to cut.
It is the bliss of summer. My dear helper Gregory sat down at the Hewlett-Packard to go to the internet to send out programs by file transfer program. Guess what? Black. Nothing. Guess what? Upstairs, the cables from the TV company, Time Warner Spectrum, coming out of the very neat, beautiful box that they put on the wall, the cables coming out of there were cut. And the cable along the side of the house, the black one and the white one, all the way down, I would say 4 rooms, were cut. And did you say, Gregory, that the cables were in the dumpster?
Oh yes, in the garbage garbage dumpster in front for the garbage man, or yeah. Yeah, it looks like all the wires were all taken off this side of the building and just cut off and put in the dumpster there. That's what it looks like. So.
Motive. Can you figure out what the motive is? What motive? Think. Give me some idea. You think the cable company did it? I don't think so. The cable company would not come and cut their own cables and not tell you. Do you think it was vandalism? What else? Can you think of anything?
Right now, I can't right now. Just maybe just a mistake somebody made or something like that. I'm not sure.
So we called the owners, the Autobex, and we talked to Julie owner, and she knew nothing about it. And there are no neighbors around that we can ask. Everybody's gone to work. By the way, what day is this? This is July the 10th, Tuesday, and Gregory discovered this circa 10 a.m. And the owner, Julie, said, well, the flags were burned at the bridge. Maybe it's criminal mischief. So she said, call the cable company, and then she says, call the police. Oh, okay. So we did that, and the cable company was very nice, and they were rather speedy about it. That was Time Warner Spectrum. And they're going to send somebody this afternoon between 3 and 4. The cable company's going to send somebody between 3 and 4. And then right in the middle of that came, and then we called the 911. Our local police don't come to work until like 3 or 4. So we're covered by the New York State Troopers. And Trooper do you remember his name?
I think his name was Bailey.
Yeah,
Bailey.
good for you. Bill Bailey, come home. Trooper Bailey was very good, and he took it all, and he wants to come back around 3 and 4 to check. He wants to find out what it's all about. Well, so after that we need something inspirational. Greg, read the folks a Bible passage, please.
Sure, the Bible passage. All right. Let's see here. We got the Bible passage. This is from Luke chapter 10, verse 41 and 42. And it's the passage is, and Jesus answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things, but one thing is needful, and Mary hath chosen that good part, which shall not be taken away from her.
Now, I want to know, what is your take on that one? What is your take on that one? Are you on Martha's side, or are you on Mary's side? It seems to me, folks, that you have to take both sides. It seems to me that the thing that should have been done was to make a decision. Either all of you people, all of the guests who were in the house at the time, and Mary and Martha and Jesus, all of you should sit down and do your meditation first and listen at the feet of Jesus first. Then you all get up together and you all together make the meal. Seems to me that it's neither Martha or Mary, it's both. Or if they wanted to make the meal first and then have the meditation. But that's the way I think it has to be. It's not either or. You get up in the morning, you get yourself washed and dressed and do the housework and take care of your family and take care of your pets and get the place in order, you sit down and then you meditate. Make your contact. Go to your sanctuary that I've told you about so many times and just listen to what's inside of you. And what I know what it will tell you. Or you get up in the morning and the first thing you do is your meditation. Your contact. Your communion. Then you get up and do all the things you have to be in condition to help the world, to help others. What is your take, Gregory?
It's kind of hard for me to. It's hard for me to.
Well, do you think you should do both? Do you think you should meditate and then do all these other things?
Yeah, that's a good way. That would be a good way to look at the situation. Is see what needs to be done, and then just think about it, how to work out a problem or something like that.
The big problem is how to work out how you can spend your life helping others, helping the universe, keeping it moving forward. Okay, Greg. What is, the hymn, I know the hymn. It's just a closer walk with thee. Grant it, Jesus, if you please. Daily walking close to thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. Now we'll put the Chat with Glendora spin on that. And it says, just a closer walk to helping others. Grant it, Jesus, if you please. Helping others. Daily walking close to thee. Daily helping others. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. You are weak. No, we are weak, but thou art strong. Jesus, keep us from all wrong. We'll be satisfied as long as we walk. Let us walk with thee. Yes, we are weak when we give in to selfishness and ego. Yes, we are strong when we do nothing but help others, and I know people who do that. And yes, you will be satisfied as long as you help others. I'll be satisfied as long as we walk. Let us walk with thee. Jokes? Got any jokes?
There's yeah, we do have a couple of jokes here. We do have some of those. Yeah. The one here is the maybe I'll throw you something there. Throw you something, and here's one. Number one is it says here. So I'll wind it up and I'll give you one. It says it's called a dull side there. So it says a dull side.
The man says, when I was a boy, I was sort of on the dull side, and when I was invited to a costume party, I would go as a librarian.
Okay. Number two. Here's one. It's called Who's Who there.
Have you heard of the publication Who's Who in America? I think I'm about to go into Who's Through in America.
And number three, I'll pitch it to you. It's called a more decisive there. More decisive.
Wife was asked, is your husband more decisive since he started taking that psychology course? Wife, yes. He does the wrong thing much faster now.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, here's one. Here I have one here. It's called only child. It's called only child.
Are you an only child? No, I'm the number 4. I was the 4th born. His mother said if he had been born first, he would have been an only child.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Here's one here. Here's one more. It's called a town in Massachusetts.
Oh, there's a town in Massachusetts named after me, Glendora. Do you know what it is? Marblehead.
Marblehead, is that it? All right, number 6, man of letters there. So.
Marilyn said, I always wanted to marry a man of letters, and I did. My husband is a postal carrier.
Okay. All right, here's one. Self-made man. So.
The boss says he's a self-made man. The secretary says it's magnanimous of him to take the blame.
Self-made. All right, the next is number 8 is number 8 and all right, number 8 account overdue. So.
Your account is overdue. We appreciate your business, but we've already carried you longer than your mother did.
Oh, yeah. All right. Number 9, how to sell a product.
You know how you sell a product to somebody? Door to door, you say to them, here's some product that your neighbors said you could not afford to buy.
Let's see, how to sell a product. All right. Then here's number 10. Yeah, some nice looking peaches there.
Isn't it a beauty?
Nice
It's ready to eat. I'll throw it to you. I would throw it to you, but I might hit the camera.
Yeah, but I'm going to do that. Oops.
Let me try another one.
Okay.
Peachy keen.
Okay. So we did how to sell a product. We did that.
Yeah, we did that.
All right. Then number 10. I'll pitch it to you here. I take orders from no one there. So.
I take orders from no one. And that's not a good idea since he was a salesman.
Okay. Then one more here is let's see, sales. Okay. Number 11. It says I'll pitch it to you here. Just go right over there. So, sales and imaginations.
The boss of the company said, our employees have a great imagination. That's particularly true in the sales department when they make out their expense accounts.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The next page, number 12 is this one is let's see here. We go to 11 sales. Okay. All right. Number 12 is it says let's see. It says here freezer food. Is that?
Yes. The salesman said to the housewife, think of the money you will save on food if you buy this freezer. And she said, well, we're already saving money on the laundromat with a washing machine. We're already saving money on bus fare with a car. And we're already saving money on, what was the fourth thing?
The house with the rent?
Yes. We're already saving money on the rent with the house that we bought. We just can't afford to save anything else.
Oh, yeah. Is that it? Yeah. All right. Then there's number 13 here is, I'll pitch it to you here. All right, here you go. There. Insolent, surly, and unappreciative.
The boss said to his employee, you've been just like a son to me, insolent, surly, and unappreciative.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like giving away the punchline first.
Oh, sorry about that. All right, the number 14 here, second from last, says three things a teacher.
Oh, what are the three things you like, the reporter said to the teacher. What are the three things you like best about teaching? She said, motivating young Americans, developing young minds, and broadening the thought process. And the reporter said to the teacher next to her, what are the three things you like best about being a teacher? And she said June, July, and August.
Here is the last one, number 15. I'll pitch it to you here. All right, then. Okay, here you go.
I missed it. Pitch
Sorry,
it
then.
again.
All right, one more time.
It's down there in the ground.
One more time there. I'll get it. And okay, here we go. Sun and moon. So.
The boy wrote on his essay that the moon is more important than the sun. The moon gives us light at night when we need it. The sun gives us light in the daytime when we don't need it. And speaking of this, I'm happy to report we have blue and no goo. I see blue and no goo. I think there's a little bit of a haze, but I'll take it. It's blue and no goo.
That's pretty good, so. Okay. All right.
The next things are words. What time is it, Greg? How many more minutes have we?
Well, we've got we're about 20 minutes in right now.
So we have about 10.
Yeah, we got about
Okay,
10 minutes.
we're doing well, except I want to go through the words quickly because I want you to tell the folks what you're going to do tomorrow.
All right, so, okay.
That's what I'm going to ask you after I do the words. What are you going to do tomorrow? We got something very exciting
Oh,
planned.
all right, so, okay.
Adulterate. To adulterate means to make impure by the introduction of a substance that is foreign. Or what? Foreign or what? Baser. The next word is adumbrate, and that means to give a shadowy and sketchy representation of. What's the next word? Ad valorem. You take the show ad valorem. That's a Latin phrase. Ad is to, valorem, to the value. Ad to the value. Take the show ad valorem. What's number 4 word?
The next one is advance.
Advance. Would you read it to me, Greg?
It's advance, marked or noticeable progress.
Are we making marked and noticeable progress in helping others and being pure in heart? Are we, folks? You are helping me and I am helping you. That is the answer to everything. To be pure in heart, and you're pure in heart when you give your life to others. Let me sing a song on that. Helping others, you'll enjoy it. Satisfaction guaranteed. We got rid of the ego. Selfishness is not allowed. We want you to have it. Peace that passes understanding. Helping others, you'll enjoy it. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Yeah, you got to advance. All right, yeah, accelerate the growth or progress.
Accelerate the growth or progress. Read them both to me, would you? Read them both to me, would you again, Greg?
Advance, marked or noticeable progress, and then to accelerate the growth or progress, it says.
And you are accelerating the growth and progress of the universe. Marked and noticeable improvement.
So there's one adventitious.
Adventitious. Is that to add to one's wealth of possessions through
it says added extrinsically.
Oh.
Added extrinsically, not essentially inherent.
And something that doesn't come from you intrinsically. It comes extrinsically. It comes from the outside. Let me think, winning the lottery, huh? That would be adventitious. Thank you, you heroes up there, you recycle people. Thank you so much for recycling. I give them money whenever I see them. Thank you. Did you see where somebody cut down our cables? Okay. Gregory, tell the people where you're going tomorrow and what you're going to do.
Tomorrow, well, tomorrow we have plans. We're going to the studio, the TV studio in Albany. It's 10, right? WTN, right?
Channel 10 Broadcast TV, Fox, ABC.
So you and I we're both going there, and you're going to make a few commercials there to be aired on their channel, and we're gonna produce a commercial there in the studio, and some of the vegan products, and you're gonna send a message out tomorrow. You're gonna do that.
One commercial's for July this month, folks. The next one is for August, and the next one is for September. And it's at Channel 10. Now this is broadcast TV. And all my cable TV stations, all 71 of you, I'm going to give Sandy a camera. I'll give her the Canon. I'll give Gregory the New Jersey JVC. And I'll have JVC number 2. We're each going to take pictures of the broadcast TV studio, and then I'll show it to all you cable TV people, so you can see what a broadcast studio is like compared to a cable TV studio. How many minutes do we have?
Well, we have about 3 minutes. I think
3 minutes. I'll do the commercials for you. The first one is, hi folks, it's Glendora. I regret to inform you that tonight's meeting of the Clairvoyance Club has been canceled due to unforeseen circumstances. The next time you go to the supermarket, bypass the meat counter, go to the frozen food counter, and load your grocery cart with veggie meats, hamburger, chicken, turkey, ham. 90 years old, no doctors, no medicine, and my cat is vegan too. And then up comes the picture of beautiful.com cat. Okay, that's the July one. And what color outfit is that? That's going to be red. Red hat, red tie, red jacket. And now August is going to be yellow. Yellow hat, yellow jacket, yellow tie. And it's going to be hi folks. A man walked into a restaurant and he said, is the chef in? And the waitress says, no, he went out to eat. The next time you go to the supermarket, bypass the meat counter, go to the frozen food cases, load up your grocery cart with veggie meats, hamburger, chicken, turkey, ham, 90 years old, no doctors, no medicine, and my cat is vegan too. How many minutes do we have now?
Oh, about a minute to go, I think. So
1 minute to go. I guess the third one you'll have to see on the air. You don't say that in cable because the signal in cable goes through a cable. It used to be coaxial, now it's all these other things. But this is over the air. This is on the air. If that exists anymore. Maybe it's all digital TV. All right, what do I say? In the last minute I have, suppose this were the last minute I were alive, what would I say to you? Have the joy of going alone in your sanctuary, listening to your soul, the same soul that is inside of all of us. And that soul will tell you to go out and spend your life helping others and to get rid of selfishness and get rid of egotism and get rid of me first.
Okay. All right. What we'll do is